I'm here in front of the University Bookstore. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I want to share with y'all the fact that I tried to kill myself. Alright. Don't get the wrong impression. I did not try to commit suicide. It's just through my own actions and ignorance, there were times that I probably should have died. Fact is, nothing ever happened to me. But through no fault of my own. I'm just going to tell you 2 little things, alright? Maybe 3. I remember one time, back in the early 70s, I thought I had this little AM radio that you plugged into the wall. And I thought that if I could use the wiring in the house as an antenna, that would be fantastic. I could get in so many better stations that way. So I took an old plug, I stripped it down, I took the antenna wires, I hooked them up, I turned on the radio, and then I plugged in the antenna. Things went boom. But you know, just a year and a half later, they were selling these things that you could plug into your wall and hook up your radio as an antenna. Of course, they put all the proper little capacitors and stuff to isolate the circuits to make it work. I was a kid, what did I know? But it didn't work. Alright. Another time, this time I didn't try to kill myself, but another time when things went pop. My dad, I don't know where this came from, but we had this ugly elephant lamp. It was like an elephant, and I think it was cast out of plaster and painted gold, and to hide it, they put it in my room. So what happened? I decided that I wanted to see what would happen if you took a little bulb and put it in a big bulb socket. What would happen? I don't know. I didn't know what would happen. Would it work? I don't know. So I carefully aimed the little bulb and I dropped it in the big bulb socket. And what happened? Poof! Circuit breaker went. Dad goes, "What happened?" I said, "I don't know." I don't know what happened, Dad. Turned on the lamp and boom. He goes, "Oh, okay." He threw the lamp out. Now this is from a man that rewired the whole house. So he knew he didn't have to throw the lamp out. But obviously he was looking for an excuse to get rid of this thing. When they could no longer hide it in my room and it was a safety hazard, they got rid of it. Alright, another time, something that didn't go boom, and I found my dad culpable in this, okay? I think he may have been trying to kill me. Alright, not directly, mind you. But the fact that he was a bright project engineer that had rewired the house and knew about electricity, he probably should have said something to me. Alright, now this is the way it went down. I had a little walkie-talkie, you know, 9-volt battery in it. Hello, can you hear me? Well, I thought that I could receive or transmit further if I had like a really big wire. So I went out to, I don't know where the heck Dad kept tools. Wherever the heck his workshop was, or wherever he kept things at. It's a good question. I don't know where it was now. But he had this big spool of copper wire, bare copper wire. I said, "Oh, great." And I knew that if you ran wire around and around and around, you can amplify things, because that's sort of how transformers work. It's how they raise voltages and lower voltages. So, around the bottom of my bed, I wrapped about a dozen coils of this copper wire, and when I was happy with how it looked, I proceeded to, I was on the 2nd floor of a 2-story house. I threw it out my window, closed my window, dragged it over to the sycamore tree, climbed the sycamore tree to just about the top. I latched this thing onto the tree out front of my house, about 75 feet away from my window, and about 25 feet up in the air, and the house was only 21. And I had this thing there, this antenna, that went from the top of a tree to my bed. And at the end of my bed, it was wrapped around the bottom of my bed at least a dozen times, around the two end posts. And this was there for a couple years. This was there through multiple lightning storms, multiple thunderstorms. Why I didn't get killed, or why that thing didn't get zapped, I'll never know. I guess it just wasn't the right thing to attract lightning, but boy, did I try. I tried bad. And you know, to top it off, I had this air hockey game when I was a kid, and we didn't have air conditioning, so in the summertime when it got hot, I took the blower motor out, and I hooked it on the bottom of my bed, right on top of all that wiring, and plugged it in, blowing air up on me. So these were just a few of the things that I did because electricity fascinated me, and that's why I went into the Navy and learned electronics and computers and radars and waveguide propagation and servos and synchros and the whole kit and caboodle. If you watch any of those movies where they're on this aircraft carrier or they're on this combat ship and you're in a dark room and you have all these fascinating lights, these displays, the radar displays, the large screen projector displays, everything just to dazzle the people that are watching the movie. And then they say, oh, press this button and it'll do this. Well, it doesn't do that. But everything you see, electronic-wise, on an aircraft carrier, I fixed. It was great. It was fun. By that time, I learned what I was supposed to do and not do, and I didn't try to kill myself anymore. But as a kid, I went through 2 years of technical school as a kid, where I learned electronics in 11th and 12th grade, and sometimes we would set up the projects and then we would go in the back room and flip the breaker on because it was safer that way because we didn't know what was going to blow up. But it was all fun, and it was a different period, and I survived. I tried to kill myself multiple times, but despite my ignorance, despite it, and despite my very best attempts, I'm here to tell the story. No, suicide never crossed my mind. Death never crossed my mind either. Probably should have been thinking about it. Ciao.